So let's get right into it. If you do nothing today, please do this. Go below, the link below, and sign my petition. I doubt I'll get 500, let alone 25,000 signatures within 30 days, but stratospheric geoengineering is all but killing us. I mean, this is one of probably the most major things affecting our nation as a whole right now, and also worldwide. You know, it's conspiratorial called chemtrails, but we all know that it's real, finally. And it's been going on for many years, over 10. And so this impacts me a lot because a lot of people are getting more and more diseases. Cancer, everybody has cancer, and nobody wants to take the time to figure out why. You know, if we went back to the 1930s and 40s with Max Gerson, who said, oh yeah, I found a cure for a lot of diseases based simply on a diet, he cured 446 patients out of 450. What did Congress say when he went before them? Sorry, bud, it's not financially feasible. So on top of that, then we have this. And imagine what it's doing, you know, to athletes and those, well, just the average citizen alike. You know, our health. America is the most health-conscious nation in the world, and yet we're the fattest. Why is that? Why is that? It has to do with the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat, right? Because a lot of the things like aspartame and sucrose and sucralose, you know, those sugar additives, they actually make you hungrier, and they're a toxin. After 86 degrees, they turn into a toxin. Your body runs at least off of 95, 96 degrees, right? So you're putting that shit in your body. Not only are you eating more, but you're tearing down your nervous system. They did testing on this. And it's funny, I talked to a lot of KBR workers, and they said, oh yeah, we had a lot of blood tests when I was in the military. They had a lot of diet soda, you know, it had aspartame in it, and we kept getting blood test after blood test, and they figured out it was being tested on them to see the effects. And then aspartame, you know, got a bad rap, so they changed the name to sucralose. That's fantastic. So let's continue on. Let me show you just a few pictures for those of you, if you're new to this, what they are. All right, so now that you've seen this, all right, you've seen some of the pictures, why don't you do a little bit of research? Don't type in chemtrails. You know, I mean, there are some sites that are, you know, wayward, but there's a lot that have scientific evidence, of which I'm going to present to you right now. And with that, you understand that they made the worm, they termed it chemtrails, right? And it sounds conspiratorial, but it's not. It's something very true. It's the United Nations. You can listen to the scientists who have talked about it for global warming, which over 30,000 have proven that global warming isn't really an occurrence. If you want to worry about something with the environment, worry about pollution. See, because, I don't know, the Earth kind of goes through its own rotation with heating and cooling, you know. And back in the 70s, you know, people like our science czar wrote a book in the 1970s talking about global freeze. We're going to have just complete ice age. And then he changed his way to global warming. Why? Because now we can implement a carbon tax on breathing. Because carbon monoxide sounds horrible, right? So we got to stop and limit our breathing. Even though if a volcano erupts, it destroys anything we could ever do in 1,000 years to prevent global warming, the way they term it. So I want to just go over a few statistics for you that have to do with the air results they found in Phoenix, Arizona. And these are shocking, but nobody really steps up to the plate and says, hey, there's something wrong with this. Cadmium, 126 times the toxic limit. Chromium, 282 times the toxic limit. Nickel, 169 times the toxic limit. Aluminum, 6,400 times the toxic limit. It's the same shit you put up your armpits every time you use deodorant, unless you're using all natural. Iron, 28,000 times the toxic limit. Magnesium, 5.3 times the toxic limit. Potassium, 793 times the toxic limit. Sodium, 15.9 times the toxic limit. Barium, 278 times. Copper, 98 times. Magnesium, 5,820 times. And zinc, 593 times the toxic limit. They didn't make that documentary about what in the world are they spraying for nothing. Alright, you know, it's funny because we think of government and we think of regulations. So when the EPA says, hey, we have a certain and specific amount of regulations that we'll allow, while at the other end, in a different governmental organization, we have people spraying this stuff saying, oh, it's helping to prevent global warming. Doesn't that seem kind of really, I don't know, fucked up to you? Because it does to me. So they do have, let me go back to it real quick. And United States Code, Title 50, Chapter 32, Section 1520 Alpha. It is illegal to use a civilian population for testing of chemical or biological agents. Alright, but we know that when I interviewed H.P. Aberelli, who worked under the Carter administration in the White House, he wrote a terrible mistake. When I talked to him, and I've talked to him quite a few times, we know that they've been doing testing on Americans since the 1930s and 40s. So where does this bring us to? Let's look at the side effects. You know, I don't know, cancer is one of them. But let's look at a little more, all right? We have lung bleeds, in addition to nosebleeds, high rates, and we have 20 million plus Americans since 2007, 6.8 million of which are children, who have also pulmonary allergies. And this is the most recent CDC figures from this article, and that was back in 2007. Bronchitis, flu-like symptoms, and pneumonia. We have night sweats and or unexplained fevers, gastrointestinal problems for all ages, also to include pets. And with this comes chronic vomiting in cats and dogs. Skin, extremely dry and cracked skin. And that doesn't matter if it's warm out or if the humidity is at a skyrocket rate. Eyes, blurry vision. Alright, short-term memory loss, autoimmune disorders, and the like. You know, and they don't even know the extreme amount of side effects from this. As the scientist in the United Nations says, hey, don't worry because it won't really affect us. It's more on our kids, but why worry when it's not about you, right? These people are sick. And then, you know, you just go into all of it and you realize, I don't know, there's something really fucking wrong. But then you sit there and you go, well, football's on, right? You know, I'm sure if I did a petition on getting a new NFL team within the league, many people would sign it. And it's really sad, too. Just like the NFL is a non-profit organization. So all the money that they make is tax-free. Yay! That's great, right? So we put our money into that while we just completely kill ourselves off and allow the government to intrude upon our own person, right? Doesn't that kind of have to go within the Constitution? You're not supposed to infringe upon anyone. You know, or the government can't restrict themselves from actually doing it. They're not supposed to, but they do anyway, and we just sit by and we go, oh, well, it's okay. There's a good reason behind it, probably. Even though I don't really know what the laws are or what you're doing, but hey, sounds good, because you wear a badge, right? Or you're affiliated with a certain governmental agency. We need to hold them accountable. The whole purpose for the petition, now you may say that it doesn't do anything, right? And it won't do anything. But my point of the petition is to, again, like the secession thing, is to bring it up in topic so that it makes more people aware, right? Because knowledge is the first power, right? Action is the second. Now, if you can get people to talk about it and it's actually in the news where people believe it, aside from their indoctrinated souls, you can hopefully get people who want to work at the state level to get that shit out of their state. I drove from California when I PCS'd to South Carolina. I drove from California to Nebraska, from Nebraska to South Carolina. There's only one state I didn't see chemtrails, and that's probably because it was on a Saturday, and that was Utah. But they spray and they spray and they spray. And we breathe it in. That is the issue. It takes 24 hours approximately for that shit to fall. And you breathe it in. But I don't know, you can't smoke in restaurants, right? Because it's harmful to you, but we'll allow the government, because they have the name government, to spray everything and anything on us. And who knows what extra shit they're putting into it. Just like we allow them to fluoridate our water and add other chemicals that can't be taken out with the system they use to clean our water in the first place. Why? Last night I was getting my baby formula, and I'm just sickened because I looked at every single brand. Had sucrose in it and a whole bunch of other, anything that you can't pronounce and you have to look up is probably harmful. I'm not saying there are beneficial chemicals, because there are, in certain specific amount of doses, right? But when a child's taking in a whole bunch of chemicals at once, consistently throughout the day, it's probably not good for them. And it's been proven, right? That's why doctors insist on breastfeeding. Because aside from all this, we have good people. We have great people throughout trying to help us and benefit us. Why don't we listen? We need to listen. Take 5 fucking minutes out of your day and sign the petition, and tell your friends about it. And if they don't understand it, please do a little research yourself before you go when you try to talk to them. Alright? So you're just not, well, some dude said that this is bad, but look at the pictures. No. Educate yourself a little bit before you do it. This is very, very important. So with that, hopefully the links are below too, along with the petition on top. Do some research. Please. Be active. If you're going to make comments and you're going to do up and down, I don't know, do a little research. Please verify everything I say, and then go out and be active. I'm not saying that it's the all-be fucking way to do things. I'm saying it's something. It's something more than the average adult is doing. And yes, overall, if we got together, we could make a difference. You fail to realize, over 300 million Americans, right? And you have a Congress who used to support and used to, I don't know, be under 30,000 constituents. Now we're over 700,000. They're not going to be in the greatest welfare of the amount of people that they have to fucking sit there and, I don't know, govern. But we have to do something. If we sit around and do nothing, then we're just as bad as they are. We're even worse because we allow it to happen. So get your heads out of your asses, those of you who sit here and want to go, oh, well, that was a gay video. Don't be entertained, be active. Fucking give me a down and sign the petition. I don't give a fuck, because I'm not here for ratings, obviously. Or I'd pay the money to try to get it advertised more. I don't care about money. When I did radio, that was a lot of the issues. Money. Oh, we're going to get a few bucks here, a few bucks there. And then you had people break up because of money. I don't give a fuck. What I care about is human life. So please, get active. I want to see at least over 1,000 fucking hits on this, or 1,000 petition signatures. It's for you, it's for me, it's for our families, it's for our kids. That is the greatest objective. So with that, I'll see you guys next time.